Okay, there's been many posts on Talk Graphics about adjusting sliders and making various adjustments to them on what can be done and what can't be done. And to be quite honest, some of them are only very good at bog standard sliders. So this video is about creating your own photo slider and even super sliders. But what I'll do is just start off with creating your own sliders. We'll need to create two Xara files, Xara web files, to do this. This first section here is about creating the Xara file that contains the photos. This Xara file will be used to create a super site, and just to see how to create a super site, if you go into website, web export options here, you can either have a conventional website or a super site, and this one is set up to super site, and this allows you to have page transitions, and I've chosen a crossfade with 3 seconds transitions. So I'm going to just click OK, apply, OK. Now there is also a nav bar up here. It won't be required in the final rendering. It just helps you to check the test the site to see everything's working fine as it is at the moment. Right, the super site is using a 3-second crossfade transition, and basically what the site has is these 3 pages. It's slider pages, slider pages 2, and slider pages 3, each with different images, and this common nav bar, which we can do away with later on. And each of them, just for clarity, have the same text, so I can talk the way through it. So what I can do now is just to go and preview that website. Go on to pick 2, pick 3, and you can see that it works well enough. I'm quite happy with that. Now we need to add some JavaScript to the website head supplied by TG member Siren, and I'll just go into web properties, I'll go into website, into the HTML code, just click off, and here's the script, the JavaScript, and the CSS code that Siren very kindly supplied, and it works very well. Basically all it does is, instead of having to click the button, it just has a display time of, in this instance it's 4 seconds. You can adjust that by changing that to whatever you want, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, and it just slides through each one of them without having to click the navigation bar. I don't even pretend to understand even 20% of that, but it works very well, and I thank Siren again for that. So we just click apply. What I'll do is I'll supply that script and CSS code when I post this thing, so anybody wanting to use it can just copy it and paste it in to the head section of the website. Right, now once you're happy with the site, create a directory and save it as slider-pages.xar or slider -pages.web, depending on which one you're saying. Next, export the site to the same folder named slider pages HTML, not index.html. So when you go to File, Export Website, I'm saving it into this slider for placeholder 2, and I'm going to call this slider pages rather than index. Okay, and I'll just click export. I won't do it that because we've done that at present. So that's the first part of the thing done. Now you've got to create the second Xara file, and this one's a bit more simple. Basically, this is where the main site, or the index site, if you wish, would be. The slider you created will be displayed in a placeholder. The placeholder is this purple rectangle above. It has some iframe code. So if I just go in and show edit body, there it is. It says iframe, name is not really required, source equals slider -pages HTML, which is the HTML file you just created. And the other thing is you want the width to match the width of the slider pages, which is 1334 by a height of 264, and that's okay, and click apply on that. This will be your main site. The slider will be displayed in the placeholder. The iframe code is calling the super site we created in part 1, slider pages HTML, at the correct size. Once you're happy with this, save it as main-site.xar or main-site.web, depending on which program, Xara program you're using, or index.html if you wish, to the same directory, and that's important. It goes to the same directory we used earlier. Once you're happy with this, save it as just done that. Next, export the site to the same folder named index.html. So we go File, Export Website, and this time I'm going to call it index.html. And I'm going to export it. Cancel. I'm not going to do it this time because I've already done it. And that's it. Now preview the results. And here's the results of what you're doing. You can see that without me clicking any the buttons at all, the images are just sliding through on this very nice transition page. Let's just check it in Firefox, and it's just loading through quite happily, having a nice transition, and it works quite well. And as I say, once you've got it working, you can do away with this nav bar and slide out away. So that's the end of that section for a minute, so I'm just going to pause this. Okay, I'm continuing on here now, and okay, I've going to go into this. Basically, what I've done is moved this menu off the page. It's now no longer going to display. We have the same background image of the slider, and I've named this super slider pages.xar and saved it into the same folder as the previous ones we've been saving it into. So what we'll do next is to create some additional features. Now note I've imported the TG graphics here, and if I right click on it, I can go to web animation, under the reveal and scroll, and I've told it to roll in, take 1 second to do it with no delay. I'll click OK, and similarly I've added this surfer PNG, and if I look at the web animations there, go to reveal, I've told it to slide in from the top right, to take 2 seconds, I think it is, to do it, and I've delayed it for 1 second, or 2 seconds, delayed it for 2 seconds. I'll click OK, and then similarly on here I've got another Talk Graphics logo with a different animation, and Daffy Duck here with a different animation, and this fish PNG with a different animation, some text with a part transparent background, and this text here to say thanks again Siren for his code, and if I preview it, it will do that. I haven't got the nav bar here, so I don't know if this will actually show. It does, because it's still using the Siren's code. So here's the Talk Graphics again. Here comes Daffy Duck sliding in, and you also got the fish coming in, some text with partial transparent background, and that. So I'm happy with that. So I go to File, Export Website, and I'm going to call this Super Slider Pages.html and export it. I won't now because I've already done it. So that's that section done. I've also created a second main super site Xara to load it into the placeholder named main super site Xara, and exported it to Super Slider Pages loader.htm, which is here. So if we look at this, edit this, look at the body, it loads up this Super Slider Pages.htm at the same width and height. Okay, apply, okay, and if I go and preview that, not only do you have the slider, but you have these animations coming in as well. A nice transition change, another Talk Graphics sliding in, and Daffy Duck sliding in. The fish, the text coming through, and this. So all of that can be made quite simply once you know how it's done, and you don't have the restrictions that you have with all the widgets that you do load with sliders in. They're all limited in their size, whereas this way it's very very quick, and more than anything else, it's very adaptable, and there's numerous ways you can do it. You can even have this background image scrolling out and getting larger as well. Anyway, hope that helped, and I'll post this, and I'll try and post Siren's code that he used that goes into the web page head section. All the best. Here you go, egg. Bye.